Good morning, fans. It's almost time for kickoff today featuring Orlando Pirates versus Furia. We are in the first round of the men's group stage. TST rules are as follows. The teams will play two 18-minute halves followed by target score time. At the end of the second half, we will set a target score by adding 1 to the leading team's goal count. The first team to reach that target score will win the match. During target score time, a player will be removed from each team every 3 minutes. And now, fans, it's time to meet today's starting lineups. First, for the Orlando Pirates. Defender number 9, Augustin Leonard. Defender number 20, Moffat Umdaluli. Midfielder number 14, Lungelo Dondolo. Midfielder number 11, O'Neal Hendricks. Midfielder number 2, Keithan Williams.
It's in the growing and extremely popular Kings League. They come in as the reigning Kings Cup America's Challenge champs, defeating Peluche Caligari in Mexico in 2025. And back-to-back Kings League winners in Brazil. The player to keep an eye on here is number 10, Felipe Mendoza, otherwise known as Lee Pound. And again, we welcome everybody tuning in from around the globe, in Brazil, in South Africa, on all the continents. We welcome you as the eyes descend on Cary, North Carolina for what is the biggest and best TST tournament, period. For those tuning in for the first time, let's get a couple of tails of the tape out of the way. The game is played on a pitch that measures 65 by 45 yards, or approximately 59 by 41 meters for those who prefer the metric system. Goal is 6.5 feet high, 18.5 feet wide. Look, there are no offsides. You've got no slide tackling, unlimited subs, and perhaps more importantly, no ties. Every single match is going to produce a game winner, and a game winner we will have today. Two 18-minute halves followed by target score time at the end of regulation, but I'll talk more about that later. Let's introduce the starting lineups for the Orlando Pirates. Starting in between the sticks today is Bayanda Zulu, defense Augustin Leonard, Moffat Ndluli, Lungelo Dondolo, O'Neal Hendricks, Keithan Williams, and Kyle Court. On Furia FC, in between the sticks, Gustavo Souza, otherwise known as Ungaru. Defensively, Joao Fernando Pellegrini, known more importantly as Pellegrini, Mateus de Oliveira Dedu, Jefferson de Mello wearing number 10, Jefinho. Number 19 as a forward, Luis Enrique de Sousa, also known as Bulci. Up top, Davi Ilario. And number 9, Douglas de Mello, otherwise known as Douglinhas. Now I'm going to be referring to nicknames as that's what we've been seeing on social media, and that's what we've been telling people. Keithan Williams goes by Chuchi on Orlando. Augustin Leonard by Gusty. Kyle Court, well, De Verelt, O'Neal Hendricks, Nilo, Lungelo Dondolo goes by the name Ski, and Moffat and Bluli goes as Moff. Just waiting for the start of today's game. Your officials for this morning are Drew Klemp and Alessa Pennington. Orlando Pirates come in wearing their black kits. Furia FC wearing the white. So we're just eagerly anticipating the start of this matchup. It's already been a warm, muggy morning, and we hope that Mother Nature is going to settle in quite nicely. Overcast is on the horizon all week long, but as we've seen here in Cary, North Carolina, we see all 4 seasons throughout the course of the day. Now, the rain won't necessarily be a factor in terms of preventing the match from going on, but it's the lightning that we have to be careful of. In the event of lightning, there might be a chance. The fire marshals tell us that we will have to have a delay. And so bear that in mind. But both teams looking like they're taking the pitch and getting ready to get these games started. TST has grown exponentially over the course of the past 4 years. Got a men's division, a women's division, and for the first time ever, a mixed division. 159 matches, 76 teams, 6 days, and more than 2,400 athletes. And some of the most entertaining soccer that you'll see anywhere in the world, at the very least until the next big global soccer tournament takes place in the United States, Mexico, and Canada in a couple of weeks, the World Cup. The city of Cary, North Carolina has been a gracious host of this tournament the past several years, and with the state contributing and with the city, TST is going to proudly call this place the WakeMed Soccer Park, home of the NWSL's NC Courage, home for the next several years. The Voigt match ball, which is the official match ball of TST, is center pitch. Voigt's been making soccer balls for over 100 years, and this year's official match ball is proof that experience equals quality. Fans are starting to descend upon Field 2 here at WakeMed Soccer Park. Seeing the Orlando Pirates logo out there, and it's an incredible logo, by the way. Love to see as they swashbuckle their way into this. But this Furia FC team is no joke. Competing in Kings League, we already mentioned their accolades. This is going to be a tough test for both teams. And Bolt puts it into play for Furia, and we are underway. 7v7 soccer, 2 18-minute halves, and target score time, which we'll talk about at the end of regulation. A couple of rule changes have occurred, which we'll get into later on in the matchup, but we are so happy and excited to be here today, and this is so much fun. The Orlando Pirates, I remember that 1995 championship cup that they won. It was a huge tournament, and again, a very decorated club. As that pass comes into the aforementioned Lipaun, who'd played in Kings League. In fact, a 2-time best player in the world at foot 7, 2-time Kings League champion, a Kings League world's best player. Outstanding individual. As Dedu gets it across field. Pass comes into number 20, Muff. Muff, who played with Pirates 5, Super Sport United. He's a Nedbank Cup winner. And the header. Both teams getting a feel for one another. Both teams very capable and talented at playing the small side of game. An opportunity, and that's going to deflect. Furia's number 22, Pellegrini. This tournament has been dominated by players that have competed in the small-sided version of the beautiful game, whether it be professional indoor soccer, futsal, beach soccer. But now we've gone global with Orlando Pirates and Furia. The Pirates are a team that were established in Soweto, South Africa back in 1937. And as stated, winners of multiple South African League titles, domestic apps. They're the first South African club to conquer the continent. And in one of the biggest continents in the world, that is no easy feat. As the pass comes into Moff. Moff going into number 14, Dondolo, known as Ski. He's played with the Orlando Pirates, the Midland Wanderers, Super Sport United. It's a Carling All-Star selection as well. Looking to thread their way past this Furia FC team, backed by the popular esports group. And when you have the likes of Neymar and Chris Guedes contributing to you, that's a lot of eyes. Neymar by himself brings in hundreds of millions of eyes And Furia FC has been a lot of fun to watch. Their first time in TST, so a couple of changes in rules, some nuances, which we'll see how quickly both teams adapt to. Coach of Furia FC, Carlos Eduardo de Oliveira, comes in with a wealth of experience. For Orlando Pirates, Xavi is their head coach. And on the prowl and on the attack once again, the Bucks go in looking, and Furia on their back heels. Both teams bat the ball back and forth. Won again by the swashbuckling Bucks, as they've maintained the lion's share of possession this morning. Pass comes into Zulu, who is part of the Midlands Academy, and of course Orlando Pirates FC. Orlando Pirates was one of the cooler logos I've seen at TST these past couple of years. Taken away by Furia. Looking to mount some type of an attack here, as they've, for the most part, been on their back heels in the early goings of the first half. Promising opportunity, though, in the build-up. The pass just missing across the box, as the target was the intended number 19, Bulchi. Bulchi, who competed with Dendele FC in Kings League Brazil, had a goal in his last split. Tried to thread through the needle on the attempt. And once again, Orlando Pirates with possession. For those tuning in from the United States, no, Orlando Pirates don't represent South Florida, out of South Africa. And the ball gets deflected out of the stands and into the woods. The only person who's going to get to walk away potentially with that void ball might be the squirrels and the wilderness that reside here in these woods. Another attempt blocked by Furia. Furia competes in several different esports, whether it be Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Rocket League. A brand that has grown exponentially over the course of the past couple of years, and just so much action coming out of Brazil, so many entertaining players coming out of futsal. I mean, futsal practically players coming out of the womb are competing in the sport. It's exciting to see that type of brand here and players that are familiar with the small-sided play. And there's a shot saved by Zulu. Another opportunity, finds the back of the net emphatically with authority. Furia gets the first goal of the game, their first ever TST goal. And the individual who's going to get that credit is Luis Enrique Riccieri, otherwise known as Bulchi. Bad intentions, emphatic, even from way up here in the press box. We felt the muscle behind that attempt. 1-0. And for Orlando, maintaining possession, an unfortunate scenario where Furia on the counter. And there they are within the midfield. Poked away, and once again going on the attack. Picked up again by Muff. With the touch, trying to go on the far end of the pitch. Pass had too much Tapatio attached to it, spicy enough to go out of play. As the ball comes out and goes to number 3, Danilo Luis Gomez, Alemão, as he's known. And pressing high is Orlando. No problem on the pressure, though, for Furia. Intercepted by Court. Orlando's talisman. This goes right back into the hands of Furia's keeper. Ungaro, who played in Kings League, I mentioned that, with Dendele FC. Pass from Keno into the midfield. Christian Felipe de Aguilar on it. So we have a stoppage in play. For those joining us for the first time, a lot of fun to be had here. A lot of big names competing in this tournament this year, as has been the case throughout the past couple of years. but no bigger names more important than the ones that we see presented on your television screen or on your laptops or heck, even on your smartphones. Pass in on that far side of the pitch. The cross tries to come into the box. It takes a deflection, and the corner is won by Furia. Past 4 winners within TST have been players dominated by the Major Arena Soccer League, and so with Kings League being a recent participant in the small-sided game in a league that's just been growing exponentially since 2023, looks like there's going to be a nice challenge. There's a strike that comes way too hot just above the crossbar, and it's going to be a change of possession. But as they have picked up that goal, the momentum has started to shift in the direction of Furia. The humidity not going to be a factor for any of these boys as it is for the players coming out of Southern California, but we have none of them on the pitch. That's going to be a foul assessed to number 11, Nilo O'Neill Hendricks. Top scorer, La Masia, University top scorer. It's in the Kaiser Chiefs development system. Masia FC, Wits U, Pirates 5. Pass into the keeper, Zulu. Bayande Zulu, wearing the number 16, floats it into the box. And that goes into the hands of Ungaru. Keeper and keeper action. Both keepers have the opportunity to be a part of the offense. And as we've seen throughout the years, the keepers can score goals. Looking in particular at Chris Toth, who has made a nice living scoring goalkeeper goals, playing with Sneaky FC. Going to be playing with Withenshaw this season. Orlando Pirates moving the ball around very well. You can just tell the chemistry with the exception of that pass right there. This team has competed with one another over significant periods of time over the past couple of years. So beyond the halfway mark at this point, only 1 goal to show so far. As Zulu lets that Voigt ball come out of play, size 5 Voigt. Puts it in towards the feet of Moff. And it's going to ricochet back towards his capable feet. And on the right, promising attempt. And a goal, the equalizer by Orlando Pirates. Excellent goal, a quick answer. Scored by, I believe that was number 7, Jose Garcia. Garcia, known as Joker, gets the first goal for the boys from Soweto. Part of the Orlando Pirates 5, and now the momentum shifting in the other direction. With nothing to show for the first half of possession, Orlando Pirates swashbuckle their way back into the game with a blasting attempt by the Bucks. And Joker certainly laughing all the way back downfield, and an interception by the Pirates. Errant pass taken away on the far post, just missing Christian Felipe de Aguilar. Man on the run. Pass too hot. As Christian can't get possession, can't get the touch. We're seeing into the game number 27, Brendan Morris out of La Masia FC. Luso Africa competed in the Neymar tourney. Several 5v5 South African competitions. He's a champ of the 5-squad league tournaments. And the 5v5 side favors Orlando Pirates. That might come into play quite interestingly when we get into that target score time. The back heel denied, though, by Orlando. Taken away. Just not finding the channels. Luisinho had 2 teammates. The Orlando Pirates, on the other hand, just putting as many players back, just trying to protect Bayanda Zulu from facing any attempts. Although the score is tied at 1-1. Advanced up top. Slippage on the turf, and with Zulu well out of his box. An ambitious attempt from beyond mid-pitch. See Luciano van Heerden, so known as Lucy, onto the pitch. Played in the Red Bull Neymar Championships of South Africa. Neymar with his name on a lot of competitions across this beautiful sport. As Tambinha, Rafael Chagas, played at Flamenco for a little while. Also competed in France on the U17, U20 Flamenco B team. Also a Kings Cup America's champ, but plenty of players on Furia FC with those titles. They don't have the numbers, but finding space and a shot just above the crossbar. And Lungelo Dondolo created the space for him. It was 2-on-4 on the attack, but created that space. And the former Carling All-Star selection just hammered it above the crossbar and ever so close. Only 6.5 feet high is that goal. So another thing a lot of these players will just have to get used to. The goal is much wider than your traditional arena soccer goals, obviously your futsal goals, and your beach. Taken away. As we say, Nova, and a yellow card. First yellow card of the afternoon, or I should say morning, afternoon for some of y'all if you're in Europe. Let's go against Dedu. Quickly played in by the Pirates. Spreading the defense across all sides of the pitch, the 65 by 45 yard terrain. Some of the most beautiful manicured greenery that you'll see in the state of North Carolina. This facility serves as home of a professional women's team in the NWSL known as the NC Courage. And they've partitioned off the full length of a regulation-sized pitch into two partitions, which is what you're looking at right here. Davi was making a run moments ago. Played for Desimpain, who finished in first place. 8-1 record. This is a team that went 58 goals for, 33 goals against. And Desimpain, most recent champions of Kings League, having beaten the mighty Kelvin Oliveira's squad just a few short days ago. Davi showing us his finesse and his fine footwork. Back into Dedu. Dedu is a Kings League Brazilian champ in 2025, Kings Cup America champ in 25, Kings World Cup Nations 26 champ. It's a man who's got a lot of trophies to his credit, all within the past couple of years. And a fine set of hair, if I do say so myself. Pushed off aggressively was Dedu by Zeke May. Zeke May, who had competed with North Pine FC, Randburg FC, part of the Orlando Pirates 5. As we approach halftime, halftime's not going to be very long. Only 6 minutes for those of you at home, so once we get there, have a little time to fill your cup of coffee up. Maybe grab yourself a little bit of breakfast. Heck, if you're in Brazil, have yourself a caipirinha while you're at it and raise one in honor of these two great teams. Quick play into Dedu. Into his left, what would be, I guess, my right on the screen. Intercepted, errant pass, telegraphed. And Orlando Pirates just trying to find their way across center pitch. As they do there, touch an aggressive battle on the touchline. It's going to be a foul issued against Furia. We've already seen a yellow card this morning already. Foul assessed to Juvenal Enrique de Oliveira, and there was a very close attempt. Furia now to the left, the right side. Davi into Jeffinho. Splinters his way into the box. Kick saved by Zulu. The player that has demonstrated the most attacking prowess has been Davi. We have a player down on the pitch just trying to get visual confirmation of who it is. I believe it might be Jeffinho. Yes, wearing number 12. So that's going to motion for the trainer to come out. So that's going to put a stop to the time. We do have a running clock unless scenarios like that occur. But we're going to have a stop in time anyway as we've reached the end of the first half. So we've got a highly competitive contest here on Field 2 in Cary, North Carolina. Furia 1, Orlando 1. We're going to step aside for a quick break, and when we come back, we got second half action. You're watching the TST live on YouTube. Back in a moment.
Sports and Social Carry, the official bar of TST, located just minutes from the stadium. Stop by during every session break for pregame energy or postgame bites. They've got cold drinks, wall-to-wall sports viewing, and delicious food. Duke Sports Medicine is ready when you are, with convenient locations across the triangle and appointments within 48 hours. Visit dukehealth.org to schedule.
All right, about a minute away from the start of the second half here on Field 2 at the WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. I'm going to give my Portuguese a shot here to our friends tuning in from Brazil. Bem-vindos, obrigado por nos acompanhar. So if I butchered it, I apologize. I'm trying to be as welcoming as possible. And, of course, welcome to our friends tuning in South Africa and throughout the continent of Africa. We've got ourselves a very close game here on Field 2. And despite the fact that Orlando Pirates have had the majority of possession and the majority of shots, 4 on goal, I should say, to 6 to Furia's 5, the goal total is still 1-1. First goal of the game was scored by the Orlando Pirates. Actually, Furia FC was the first. Well, we've got a lot of firsts here at TST. And a lot of excitement as Bulchi scores for Furia FC. And Joka, wearing number 7, Jose Garcia for Orlando Pirates. So both teams neck and neck in this competition thus far. Both keepers stood very tall. And it seems as if Orlando Pirates are going to stick with Zulu, and there's going to be a keeper change. For Furia, getting the start here in the second half is Kaique de Sousa, who was a Kings League Brazil champion with Desempenho. 77 saves and 29 goals allowed during his last split. And here we are underway again. 18 more minutes until we head into the target score time. Both teams got that feel for one another. And as we've seen over the course of a couple of games here, the pace frenetic within the first 18 minutes as squads just trying to get their feet underneath them and a feel for the field of play. I mean, all teams had the opportunity to train on this surface just to get an idea of how quickly the ball travels, how the void ball moves, and obviously to figure out the circumferences and the angles. As an excellent curler is not kept in play. Davi was the intended recipient, and Davi we don't have a metric on the amount of touches that he produced, but in the first half, he was a threat. Corner kick conceded here. We only saw 2 corners, one on each side of the pitch in the first half. No threatening opportunity from those angles, though. In is Lipown, our player to watch, Felipe Mendoza. Lipown, one of the best players in the world at the small-sided game. And it's an honor and a privilege getting to see him here in the U.S. and in the state of North Carolina. Passing the right, the shot, the header! Incredible contribution! The dish and the swish into the back of the net. Served up by Dedu, and is Lipown wearing number 10, who scored the emphatic goal. That was precision passing served on a silver platter. So we're just waiting on the confirmation. But, yes, it was an excellent, excellent goal and a quick answer for Furia to Orlando. 2-1 now the score. First lead here in the half. Obviously, the half just started. As Zulu tries to go on the far corner. And that sails over the head of Alemão. Just see how quickly things can change here as Kaique has nowhere to go. Keeper to keeper as far as passing is concerned. Kaique lifting up his hand, apologizing for the errant pass that led to the turnover. Possession very key in a game that goes really quickly. In these games from start to finish with target score time extends, you're talking about an hour's worth of play. So any kind of mistake can be extremely costly. Passing on the right. The strike was there. The target wasn't, as Nilo misses wide. Kaique in no danger of having to make any kind of saves. Pass back in and over the head of Dedu. Back into the Pirates, taken away. That was Gigante who made the tackle, wearing the number 16, Wellington Gustavo Giganchi, who also played with Decimpane in Kings League Brazil. Sao Paulo born, but played in Sweden. We have a player down on the ground. It looks like it's Giganchi, wearing the number 16. And for those in Brazil that are rolling their eyes at the pronunciation, I do apologize. Going by nicknames here. And there's the futsal capability that we see of Davi. Alemão back into Kaiki. Futsal, an incredibly popular sport on the global scale. Pass did not have much to it as Court was wide open in the box for Orlando. Court had all the time in the world, just the pass did not have enough mustard and gusto to it. Court easily can put this game on its head and change things around. He's a very talented and highly decorated player. Golden Boot winner throughout his career. And a legend in South Africa. Court did play for the Columbus Rapids for a very short period of time. That's the lower tiers of the professional arena soccer side in the United States. So it was going to be a change of possession. The official blew the whistle. Wasn't quite sure what Drew Klemp changed there. And it's nice to see Drew Klemp. Klemp has continued his scale up the officiating rankings here in the United States. Started out in the Major Arena Soccer League, and he's worked his way up. Currently working with pro officials that are the officials that dominate Major League Soccer. And here we have him in Cary, North Carolina, officiating this game. The official in center pitch, along with Melissa Pennington, who's on that sideline. Furia looking for another ferocious opportunity. Foul just outside of the box. Klemp does not blow his whistle, much to the chagrin of the Brazilian fans that made the trip. Seeing a few yellow Brazil kits in the stands. We know we'll see a lot of them when the World Cup comes in. And if Neymar is watching this game, just want to say hello and good luck to you throughout this tournament, obviously, through what you got going on. No throw-ins, for those that are wondering. That's how you play in a ball that comes off the touchline. With Zulu out of position, Furia was looking to take advantage of that. Pressing up high. Pirates just looking to pace themselves. A run on the right. Looked like it was a handball for a second momentarily, but nothing called there. Looked like it came off the wall of Giganchi. And Court intercepts, as there was a Furia player wide open within the box. And that is Giganchi, who went down in the first half as we were approaching the end of the first 18 minutes. He's helped up by the trainer, but he's back onto the pitch and obviously moving well. Miscommunication, as the intended target was Nova. And Giganchi playing it from the back into Alemão, who gets pushed back midfield by Nova. So Orlando Pirates are forcing Furia FC backwards. Score still stands 2-1 in favor of the massively popular Furia FC brand. Nearly 600,000 followers on their Instagram alone. And the attempt by Giganchi right into the hands of Zulu. No problem making that save for Bayanda. Pace slowing up here in the second half. Wind picking up as well. That'll only impact the keepers looking to advance it that way, as Duglinas heads it across the midfield. Creating space, the shot just hits the crossbar. Giganchi, not sure if he's trying to practice a legal career, but passed the bar examination on the attempt there. And a yellow card, the second yellow card we've seen today. And this one's going to go against Orlando Pirates. In the first half, I believe it was Dedu who got assessed the first yellow card by our official Drew Klemp.
Referee has assessed a yellow card on number 13, Michael Cope.
And that's going to go against Nova, as Giganchi has been beaten up and down the field. Michael Koch is his name, but he goes by the nickname Nova. So if you haven't figured out, going by a lot of the players' nicknames here, as they want it to be addressed. Pass comes in to Pellegrini. Pellegrini backwards. Turnover created, and that one just misses to the right. Nova trying to go nuclear on his attempt past Kaiki. Kaiki made the dive for it, but it was not on goal. And Nova nearly intercepted a through ball that was intended for Christian. Christian Felipe de Aguilar. Under the 10-minute mark here. Got 8 or so minutes to go before we go into target score time, and I'll explain that to you. So get ourselves a 3-minute break before we head in to target score time. There will be no ties. If Orlando Pirates manage to successfully get one back and that's all you see towards regulation, that's not how the game is going to end. Finding some space, the clearance just missing to the bottom left is Chuchi. Keithon Williams out of Rebels FC, La Masia FC, and of course the Orlando Pirates Fives. Kaiki's been diving all over the field, but he's had no shots that have been on goal towards him. But he's getting a dirty goalkeeper kit with all the dives and the attempts. Nova over to number 11, Nilo O'Neal Hendricks. And the cross in the box by Chuchi, intercepted by Kaiki. Kaiki advances it into number 12, Jefinho, who, like many of his teammates, a highly decorated Kings League player. Kings League started in 2023 by Gerard Piqué, famous for his professional career. And what he's done is built a social media juggernaut. Kings League itself, for those that are unaware, the third most viewed professional sports league on TikTok. And that's right after the NFL and the NBA. Hundreds of millions of views. And if you haven't tuned into Kings League, I highly recommend you do. Kings League has an all-star team that's going to be competing later on today against Crew. That's basically PK versus Sergio Aguero. And they're going to look to make their opening in the Americas in the fall. At least so I've been told. But Kings League, one of the fastest-growing brands. Another 7v7 tournament with a lot of fun nuances and rules and a lot of players that compete there. Competing here. Close call. Knocking on the door of Orlando Pirates as Davi spread it in and just missed his teammate ever so narrowly. Furia FC nearly finding the back of the net for the third time this morning. It already feels like it's been a long day. 10:45 Eastern Standard Time. The 11th game already at TST underway, and going to have nearly 160 games over the course of these 6 days here in Cary, North Carolina. The cash prize at the end of it all, the winning team, $1 million. So a lot to play for. There's always going to be pride in competition on display, but when you flag $1 million in front of anybody, well, as the great band Wu-Tang Clan once said, cash rules everything around me. About 5 minutes to go here in Cary, North Carolina before we get into the target score time. So we do have unlimited subs, but the subs do have to go into the substitutions box before they can come on. Unlike other indoor or arena-sided soccer, no hockey line changes like you would see in professional indoor soccer. So free kick from outside of the box for Orlando. The Pirates fives that have been going all over the world winning have a shot in. And the intended target was Tamsanka Gabusa, Ganda as he goes by. He's had a strong connection throughout his life with the OPFC. 16 caps and 6 goals with the South African national team as well. And as part of Orlando Pirates from the 2013 season all the way to the 2019 season. So a beloved player out of Soweto. As Furia looking to attack from the back, but Orlando Pirates not allowing them really any real estate. Real estate on a 65 by 45 yard pitch is going to be hard to come by. Unless when we get into target score time, we'll have less players on. Which, again, we'll talk about in a second. Sticking with it after he got pushed was Mlanga, Paul Mlanga. He's also competed with the Orlando Pirates. Pirates walking a tightrope here as they're looking to find one back. So we head into target score time. Still very much within their grasp. With regulation ending, that's not how this result will go down. But right now the advantage does favor Furia, who didn't come here looking to participate. They came into Carolina looking to take over. As they concede the corner. And Augustin Leonard, set to take the corner. Goes up top to Lucy. Lucy's going to go back to Zulu. Pirates are going to reset and readdress their offense. They're completely spreading Furia's defense. Into the right. Finding Gusty. Comes back to him. Gusty trying to chip it in. The intended target being Joka. Luciano Van Heerden taken. And there we see the man whose name we've mentioned on a number of occasions today, Davi. Davi, when attacking or operating from any part of the field, looked as if he's had the Voigt attached directly to his feet. Quick play and errant pass, an easy deflection. Kept in play but intercepted by the Pirates. And the slide tackle. Not a slide tackle, and it was sort of a slide tackle, and there is no slide tackling in the game. No slide tackling, no offside. Just all a couple of nuances to the rules here in this, what is now global 7v7 extravaganza. As entertaining as TST is, more of a global soccer festival. So we do have teams from all over the world, teams from Italy, teams from Africa, teams from Brazil, teams from the United States, local teams, pro teams. As per our clock here, maybe a couple seconds delayed on yours. We're under a minute to go before the end of regulation. Quickly approaching the target score time. The TST rules, which is also the acronym for the name of this tournament, TST, the soccer tournament. So it's an acronym that means multiple things. Some arguing with the official, but Klemp is not going to have any of it.
Free kick, Orlando.
So Orlando now has a free kick with the clock quickly approaching 18. And a yellow card for dissent. Drew Klemp wasn't having anything. And I think he showed that if it isn't going to wait for the public address announcer to say it, I think he assessed it to Lipown. But now with a final opportunity to create an equalizer here, heading into target score time is Orlando. The strike, the pass in. Emphatically hit over the net. And that's going to send us towards target score time. Now with target score time, this game is going to end on a game winner. The way it works is as follows. Furia has 2. the target score will be 3. It's the leader plus 1. So the first team to hit 3 is going to win this game. The clock does not matter in the course of the gameplay, but where it does matter is that both teams will begin with 7v7. If after 3 minutes nobody scores, the official is going to indicate a quick stop and a player will be removed from both teams. That'll bring us to 6v6. We play on. If no goal is scored for 3 minutes, we go to 5, and so on. The team that hits 3 wins. So if Furia scores the next goal of the game, it's over, and it doesn't matter where they are in terms of men on the field. What Orlando has to do is find 2 more goals in order to win this contest. So the target score, once again in this case, is 3. The individual that scores the game winner will be given what's called a golden fleece. Not made out of gold, that'd be fun. But a golden fleece is a scarf. And the recipient of it gets a lifetime free pass to attend TST and its sister tournament, the TBT. That's an acronym for the basketball tournament. And that's been around for a little over a decade now. And with the success of TBT, that led the founders and the organizers of this, John Muger and Dan Friel, to go down to the soccer level of things, and this has grown vastly over the course of the past few years. It's also important to note that none of these teams, none of these players are getting paid by TST to compete here. They're here under their own volitions, their own merit, and their own desires to not only enhance their brands and their skills, but there's $1 million on the line. 7 figures will entice anybody to go anywhere, whether you're in Brazil, whether you're in South Africa, whether you're in Madagascar. $1 million will make you do a lot of things. So we're just waiting patiently for both teams to take the pitch for the first 3 minutes of target score time. Furia just needs 1. Orlando Pirates need 2. And we've seen some miraculous comebacks throughout the last several seasons at TST. So for you fans in Brazil that think you guys have it in, that Furia has it in the bag, no, that's not the case. Orlando Pirates very much have the opportunity here. So on the screens and on the dasher boards, the electronic dasher boards, it'll show target score of 3. So now that we've spoken at length about that, the change in the target score time rules is what's called a backfield violation. In the past, this didn't exist, but what that means is a team that gets it on their own defensive end of the pitch, they have 15 seconds to advance it across midfield. If they go backwards, like basketball, it's a backcourt violation, and it'll be a change of possession and a free kick from where the infraction was created. So once the ball crosses midfield, it stays on that end. Of course, if it takes a deflection, that restarts the 15-second backfield violation. But this is the first time many of you have tuned in to TST. For those that are veterans of this, that is the biggest change that the tournament's seen since its start back in 2023. We've already seen a backfield violation in a couple of the games here early this morning. So that's something to take into consideration. But neither of these teams have competed in TST, so it shouldn't be something that they think about holistically. It's a rule that was implemented in place for teams that it utilized the strategy of hanging on to possession and forcing the opposition to attack the ball and beating them on a counter. The inaugural winner of the TST in 2023, a team called Newtown Pride, used it to their advantage, which enabled them to win the first ever $1 million prize. Teams started catching on a little, and the fans weren't necessarily the biggest fans of the strategy, as they wanted to see goals, they wanted to see action. And so TST organizers listened to it, and hence the backfield violation ruling. So now the officials are back onto the pitch, and it's the Orlando Pirates that are going to get things going. The keepers can be pulled to add in an extra attacker as well. We saw that earlier this morning between Charmer 410 and La Bombonera. But the keepers, once they are outside of the box, they're not allowed to touch it. With an extra attacker, if they come in, yes, they are. Zulu outside of his box as Didu gets sandwiched in between two Orlando Pirates defenders. Live by the sword and die by the sword when the keeper comes out that high. So it could be a play that could work advantageously, adding an extra attacker. But in some cases, it could come back to bite you. Chip in to the far side, and that comes off of Furia. It's going to be a quick play in by Ski. Lungele Dondolo. Headed out of danger. Recovered once again by Orlando. Mlanga goes back to Zulu. And there we see our first backfield violation and a yellow card. So there you saw it within the opening of this game. So this is where getting an understanding of the nuances of these rules change everything, because where Zulu collects it, that becomes dangerous. That's what makes this interesting. In the past, that would not have been a change of possession. So now a free kick for Furia. And with the space, could be a devastating scenario. But you live by learning. Monstrous attempt that gets sailed into the stands. Taken by number 16, Giganchi, whose name we've also mentioned on a handful of occasions today. Furia taking away a telegraphed pass from Orlando Pirates. Only one goal is needed for them to win. Almost a turnover. Excellent breakthrough and breakaway. And the goal! And the game is now tied. Orlando Pirates find an equalizer, and it is now 2-2. That's going to make this one even more interesting, because now next goal wins for either side. The individual who scored, of course, everybody in South Africa is going, it's our talisman, it's our main guy, Kyle Court with a killer goal. 2-2 now the score. Next goal wins. It's time to start biting on those fingernails, possibly those cuticles. But we haven't even gotten to the point where we've removed players off the field. And kicked out of danger as the keeper was out of position. Orlando Pirates feeling the momentum, feeling the sway of the game going in their direction. The official indicating the stoppage now. So instead of 7v7, we go 6v6 for another 3 minutes. So this is where real estate becomes abundant, which is something, as we know, is not really often. You can't keep growing more real estate unless, of course, you're at TST, where every 3 minutes there's more real estate given to the players. The chip in headed out by Furia. Furia FC all of a sudden playing on their back heels after controlling much of the game. But an errant pass and a recovery. Play back into the keeper. And Kaiki was, I can't tell from this angle, I don't believe it is Kaiki. That's still the keeper. Pass in, open. Just outside of the box. Giganchi marked aggressively. And Zulu going to kick it nearly to his counterpart. Now that works because came into the defensive end. Dedu did have 15 seconds to advance, and quickly advancing it is Furia. There's a shot just missing. Ever so closely to that bottom right corner was Alemão. Now the Pirates are going to settle here as they were walking the plank for a couple of moments on Furia FC's attack. Court, who just scored the equalizer, looking to find his way past his defender, but he gets his pocket picked quicker than a tourist walking through Times Square in New York City. So about halfway through this 6v6 iteration of target score time. Nerve-wracking moments here as we are just under the hour mark in terms of when this game started. So on the corner, it's going to be played by Davi. Davi goes into Jeffinho. Jeffinho back into Davi, who like to attack on that side of the pitch. In front of him, though, is Joka, who has already imprinted his name in the stats, having scored the first goal for the Pirates. And it looks like it's going to be a foul. Oh, no, backfield violation. So that's the second one we've already seen. So, like many of you, I'm getting to see a couple of backfield violations for the first time this tournament, which I thought would be something that would come back and bite Orlando in the neck, but in this case it didn't. And Orlando just with a quick response from Kurt. De Vereld, South African national futsal player. Getting his pocket picked was Nova. We have stoppage in play, about 10 seconds until we hit that 3-minute mark where we're going to go to 5v5. Dedu, who contributed on the go-ahead goal for Furia FC in the second half. Davi clearing space, into the box, threading through. And broken up defensively by Brendan Morris. Dedu to his keeper. Back into Davi. Davi center pitch to Dedu. Spreading Orlando's defense across all 45 yards. Will it be Furia with the game winner? There's a golden fleece with somebody's name on it. The shot, excellent defense by Orlando Pirates. And that was a close call. Getting in the way once again was Brendan Morris. Brendan Morris has been an anchor in the back line for the Pirates. So another player gets removed. More real estate. 5v5 now. And that, of course, includes the keeper. Dedu chips it in. Oh, so close to connecting with Lipown, our player to watch, Felipe Mendoza. Felipe Pinero Mendoza. One of the greats in futsal and Kings League. Be losing their minds in Brazil if he scores. Or will they be losing their minds in South Africa as Moff creates some space for himself, trying to cross it into the box. Intercepted by Dedu, who's spent a lot of time on the pitch tonight. I say tonight as if it is tonight. It isn't tonight. We're still in the morning. Trying to find that space was Chuchi. Chuchi still juggling it. Gets pushed off. Back to Morris. Morris has been the MVP defensively because Furia FC moments ago had close opportunity. We have player down, and that's going to be a foul on assessed to Furia. Things getting chippy here in Cary. A overcast and muggy day here in the Research Triangle. For those looking to book their flights to come out here, Raleigh-Durham Airport is your place to go in city of Cary. It's a beautiful place. And we do have a player down on the pitch, and the official motions over to the trainer, because now that's going to produce a stoppage on the clock as the trainer tends to the Pirates player that's down on the pitch. From this perspective, I can't quite tell who it is. Once I see a number or get another visual confirmation, I'll let you know who that is. But both teams have just been playing exciting 7v7 soccer here today. 13 shots for Furia FC, 10 for the Orlando Pirates. 7 shots on goal for Furia, with only 2 by Orlando Pirates. And thus far, the ability on shots on goal have given Orlando Pirates a much higher conversion rate. So we've got games going on the rest of the day. And they'll be going until nearly 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the bulk of them being on YouTube. Kings League All-Stars vs. Crew is going to be a fun one. Podba Funkball Club is going to be another fan favorite here. Arguably one of the best logos I've seen in TST, period. And I believe that might be number 13. Yeah, it's Nova. Nova gets helped off the pitch, but standing on his own accord, he's going to get a round of applause from the crowd that's spectating this on field too. And we welcome our fans that may be listening into this broadcast on field too. Zulu, he's going to take a bite at the apple. Nearly taken off the head of a fan. That was by the guardrail. We've seen keepers scold game winners here. Here's an attempt, and that's going to come off of the feet of Lucy. And that's going to be a corner kick. Taking it is, you guessed it, Davi. Davi's tasted success these past few years. Looking to find the go-ahead. Giganchi in a Dedu. It's the pressure, nearly forcing a backfield violation. Davi creates some space. The rebound. Dedu with the touch. Nearly going for a scissor. Still sticking with it. And a swing and a miss, but picked up again. And it's Nilo on the run. O'Neal Hendricks. And Dedu pokes it away, but the corner is won by Orlando. With 26, or 20 now, seconds remaining here. Pass in. Staying steadily on it is Lucy. Lucy into Zulu. Zulu's got plenty of space to operate. And because they came off of a Furia player, no backfield violation. So we play on. Just outside. Zulu, who's already taken a shot attempt. Trying to get by Dedu's court. And that comes off of the head of Orlando Pirates. And with the blowing of the whistle, that's going to indicate another player getting removed. So we've gone from 7v7 to 4v4. It'll not go any lower than 2v2. And as a reminder, next goal wins for either team. 3 is the target. Both teams have 2. The math is mathing properly. And immediately you see Furia FC pulling their keeper and adding an extra attacker. They have the capability to do so. Of course, the player that's wearing the green penny, who's number 7, Davi, can't handle the ball with his hands unless he is inside the box. This is where you'll see the teams going back and forth, just trying to create that space, trying to find a mistake, a moment of clarity. Davi finds a space and overcooks his attempt as he just got far too under the void. He's going to come off. Coming back in, that looks like it's Kaiki. So Furia utilizing both of their keepers here. Joka advancing it towards the midfield. Needs to be careful to not get caught in a backfield violation, as they are dangerously towing the line. And dangerous was the right word, because we've seen another backfield violation assessed to Orlando Pirates. Having nowhere to go was Zeke May. Caught himself in the mousetrap. So Furia now regaining possession and pulling their keeper, opting for the extra attacker. Davi in the Lipown. Over to Christian. Are you nervous yet at home, folks? We're nervous here in Cary, North Carolina. Lipown, Davi. They're going to go back and forth through one another, trying to find that hole that they're going to go through the needle with. Can they sew themselves, put together a goal? The footwork. It's the passing precision. Lipown assessing his opportunities into Christian. Jeffinho on the far end, on the far post. Back into Christian. Broken up. And that was Zeke May who got his boot on the pelota. Furia. Substitution coming in for Orlando Pirates. A fresh player with fresh legs coming on, and that's Court. In the box it goes. The shot, and the game winner! Game over! With the nail in the coffin is Furia FC, and who else? Lipown, our player to watch. Furia with the target score and the game winner. The Golden Fleece belonging to Felipe Mendoza. Kings League MVP and a baller. He's going to get invited back to carry, and anywhere TBT is going to take place. So it was an incredible game here at TST. Both teams fought valiantly, but in the end, it is Furia FC with the winner. Orlando Pirates are going to have another round later on today against Real Atletico at 5:15. For Furia FC, they'll have a bit of a break, taking on Rangers later on today at 8:30. Again, the game winner scored by Furia FC's Felipe Mendoza Lipown. And that is all that she wrote this morning. On behalf of myself, Christian Filliman, better known as Philly, just want to say thank you for tuning in to Game 11 here on Field 2 at TST. We'll see you on the other side. I'll see you another 25 more times. Enjoy the rest of your morning, and congratulations to Furia FC.